Oh my God.
Cause the pornography people know about meth.
Oh wow.
Now a child in mouth, put their mouth on anything, notice the key term. Anything. As I said, when I was watching it,
I ain't even gonna lie to you. I was looking up the child mouth the other day. I put it in the computer. Because Khalil Money said, you know, y'all know about teething, you don't know about mouth. So I was like, I bet you some child porn out there called mouth.
Oh my God.
Because the child pornography people know about mouth.
Oh wow.
Now a child in mouth, put their mouth on anything, notice the key term. Anything. As I said, when I was watching it.
As I said, when I was watching it. As I said, when I was watching it. As I said, when I was watching it.
He just admitted, not only did he just admit to searching for child porn on the internet, he just admitted that he watched a clip because he just described the clip to us.
They put the blindfold over her eyes and introduced a lollipop. Then they introduce what you ain't supposed to introduce to the mouth.
Oh, come on. Oh my.
They put the blindfold over her eyes and introduced a lollipop. Then they introduce what you ain't supposed to introduce to the mouth.
Oh, come on. Oh my.
I'm here to address
about my niece, you see hickeys as sexual relationship? By your definition, a sexual relationship.
Man, I'd rather talk about the fact that you admitted looking up child porn 3 weeks ago. That just happened.
I see you don't know what sexual relationship is.
I see, but you know what I see? I seen you admitting that you looked up child porn. Okay, you said you looked it up when you watched it, and you even described it. You described the video to us.
Play the video where I said I watched.
You described it.
Go ahead.
No, if people want to see it, they can go to my channel and see it. I mean, why would we want to pollute this video with that nonsense? It don't need to be out there too many times, Carl. Do you really, really want a copy of that video in this one too?
I never did. I did forget to ask about that though. Did you actually look up? You really looked up mouthing, up in porn, child porn mouthing to see what you could find though? Real talk. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked it up. Did I find it?
Did you double down?
Did I find it?
You said you did. You said that you described it. You said a little girl was blindfolded.
Did I put it on the screen?
Thank God you didn't. Thank God you didn't.
I ain't got nothing to hide. Y'all should have all the videos.
All right.
Well, okay.
I don't stalk you. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on me. I'm not stalking you. I don't even watch you. Carl, you've been live over there all day and all night, and I can assure you I have not even watched 5 minutes of you. I can assure you of that. I'm not over there watching you, Carl. Now, you described
the video. You have a whole community that you tell.
Carl, you described the video. You said the little girl was blindfolded, and they introduced a lollipop, and then they introduced something else. Those are your words, Carl.
I spoke about that, but then that's when I was younger. So how the fuck
that's not what the conversation was?
When I was younger, that I'm doing it now and I got it now. I used to watch porn.
So when you were younger, you watched a child receive a lollipop and then something else. Is that what you're saying right now?
Don't you know it's grown women?
What you're seeing is you, a liar, get caught up in his lies. And listen, just the best bet is to stop lying. All right, then. You ain't got nothing to say.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. I was looking up the child mouth the other day. I put it in the computer. Because Khalil Money said, you know, y'all know about teething, you don't know about mouth. So I was like, I bet you some child porn out there called mouth.
Oh, my God.
Because the child pornography people know about mouth.
Oh, wow.
Now, a child in mouth, put their mouth on anything, notice the key term. Anything. As I said, when I was watching it,
as I said, when I was watching it. As I said, when I was watching it.
Whatever. They put the blindfold over her eyes and introduced a lollipop. Then they introduce what you ain't supposed to introduce to the mouth.
Oh, come on. Oh, my.
Whatever. They put the blindfold over her eyes and introduced the lollipop. Then they introduce what you ain't supposed to introduce to the mouth.
So we're talking like 5 incidents, 6 actually total, as of today, Monday, February the 2nd, 2026, that I know about. Okay, and even an incident that happened like 5 or 6 years before I even came to know who this dude was, and he was getting exposed by people back then because he had received child porn and came up on YouTube and started bragging about a video he got, of child porn. And the police were called and they showed up at his house. He claims they made him delete the message with the child porn in it, which sounds crazy. But there was also an incident maybe a year and a half ago where he shares a photo talking about his mixed multitude of the church, and he literally tags and links to a video of an underage Chinese girl masturbating. I'm almost done with these receipts, and I'm gonna close it up here. I got some final words that you all need to hear. And guys, at all of these different incidents, different people that don't even know each other. You know what I'm saying? Different people that don't even know each other. He's getting exposed by all these different people. And I've been on his ass for like, what? I think 2 years now at this point. So I done cataloged all this stuff. And like I said before, listen, I'll button it up with my final words in a minute. But who comes on YouTube and links to a child porn video on their community wall? And then what was so cold about it, this dude, he's a liar. Now, let me tell you something. This dude right here, he a full-fledged liar. He came up here and he had the nerve, the audacity to say that LeakYou.com was the one that put the link to the child porn video on his community wall. Now, how the hell am I going to do that? I ain't never met this dude. I'd have to have logged into his YouTube account, then go to his community wall. And even before all that, I would have had to have found this nasty video just to link it. Listen, I couldn't tell you how to look up a child porn video. I don't know how these men be doing that shit. Never want to know how. Because guess what? Gwinnetta Greer, there's absolutely nothing educational that I could absolutely learn from watching a single one of those videos. So no, I wouldn't even know how to look this shit up. But it's obvious that Carl Albert Davis does. And do y'all know that he actually tried to run for mayor in Parkin, Arkansas? This pedophile.
The question that I had to you, Brother Israel, was
hello, Enclave.
About a post that you post. I'm posing this question to you about a post that you post 4 months ago on your Hip Hop Reloaded Reborn page. There's a post over there that you posted, and you post, and you also attached it to your rumble.com page. However, it's a Netflix video from back in 1990, and it's of an underage Chinese girl masturbating with a vibrator. And I wanted to understand what was
wow,
you attaching that video. And you're also talking about the church, I guess, of Christ or whatever, and it's season 1 Next Generation or something like that. But I clicked on the video to see what you were talking about.
Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Yeah. So that's who I, that's the individual that you all seen in the beginning of this video. And see, the thing about it is he's been getting pressure, right? He don't want to look weak. God forbid he looks weak because he's running from debating a woman. But the truth is he is running from debating a woman. He's been running from debating me. And you noticed as soon as I started asking questions that had a hint of heat to him, he ran his ass off this platform. He literally sat there yesterday and pretended like he was opening up his platform for me, but he knew damn well he blocked me yesterday. See, the reason why, you jumped off of here. You ran. See, I don't have you blocked, Israel Doctrine. Who are you to block? Who are you to block? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I look at that. I don't ever block on my platform hardly. But the thing is this. You just ran up out of here because you couldn't handle the questions. And the question I asked you was really fucking simple. You straight up said that if the girl's 12 years old and she hits puberty and she's menstruating and that makes her a woman, then her daddy has every right to marry her off. You said it's up to the daddy. So then I ask you the same exact question, but I changed the age because girls start their periods at 9, 10, 11. And then you want to start playing word games and semantics and shit. Because you know how bad it would sound if you said, yeah, she's a woman at that point. I mean, really, I'm surprised that wasn't the answer you just gave. I mean, being 12 versus 9 it's not even a difference to me. But I legitimately came to do a legitimate debate with you and to ask you legitimate questions. And I wasn't even done. I wanted to know about these factions in the Israelite community and their stances on it. I didn't do anything to you to make you go running up off this platform, but you chose to go running. And so it's obvious to me that you ain't gonna handle no difficult, hard questions at all. And here I am. I've never debated in my life. And you sitting up here running from me. It's wild. You literally, you debate any chance you get. And I'm the only woman, I'm the only person that you've ever charged money to debate. Like, why is that? Because I'm a woman? Well, why am I the only person you've ever charged for a debate? And then you want me to sign a contract? And I'm like, I still ain't synced this contract. But it's crazy. And then it's like, okay, even if I did sign the contract and I violate it, what you gonna do about it? I mean, honestly. But I really came at this with decent intentions. And you just been playing games for days now. You've been running for days, playing games for days, and then you come over demanding that I pay you $25 fucking dollars to debate you. I mean, it's just the way you've handled this has been non-professional, unprofessional. Period. And I've given you way more leeway than I wanted to. Believe that. Believe that. Way more leeway than I wanted to. But I'll tell you what, shout out to the almost 100 people that are seeing this right now. Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to X. Shout out to Twitch. Okay. Shout out to Instagram Live. Shout out to Rumble. And shout out to YouTube because I'm streaming on all these platforms and there's over 100 people watching this. So, I hope you enjoy your little, 5 minutes, Israel Doctrine. But it's not exactly the 5 type of minutes I would want. But you running up off of here like that, I mean, like literally, you are, you just basically showing us how you really are and shit. You can't handle, um, you can't handle debating me. You can't fuck with me. You can't even have a conversation with me because you're scared of what I'm gonna say. Man, welcome for the money. What, $10? Man, listen, man, I sent you $1 last week just to disrespect you. You thought I was sending that out the kindness of my heart? Nah, man. That was my way of straight up disrespecting you. Straight up. Enjoy the $10. Go get you some whiskey, because I know that's probably what you're going to buy with it. And every time you take a swig from it, I want you to think about me, okay? Okay? Now, I want y'all to see this really quick before I close and button this up. 9-year-old girl, okay, who she's came into puberty, okay, so they consider her a woman, and her family has arranged a marriage with a 60-year-old man, okay, and Israel Doctrine thinks that they got to have a good maturity, okay. There's no way a 9-year-old girl knows even how to fucking cook a meal on the stove, let alone marry some 16-year-old dude, man. And what kind of man gets pleasure from having sexual contact and intercourse with a 9 or 10 or 11 or 12-year-old fucking girl? Or 13-year-old girl? Or 14-year-old girl? I echo what Khalil Amani said in his last video. When you told us about that Hispanic girl giving you oral sex, that 12-year-old, and you say you hate dick sucks. I mean, I absolutely agree with him 1,000% and was thinking it to myself yesterday. You a 19-year-old man getting your penis sucked by a 12-year-old girl. They're like, how a 12-year-old girl really doesn't have any sort of skill set for something like that. She's not experienced. So I'm quite sure your first experience, with that couldn't have been a good one. I don't know if you scarred for life from it or whatever, because I always thought it was weird. Your claims that you don't do oral sex or whatever. I can tell you right now, as a woman, I wouldn't be with a man who doesn't give me oral sex, period. It ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that man would be of age, grown as fuck, And I also have a theory, Israel Doctrine, that the reason why you ain't had sex in over 20 some years, because you're an alcoholic. So you can't act like you running around here all sin free and shit like that. So, drinking a bottle of whiskey or bourbon or whatever it is, and having sex with somebody, that sin is no different from the other, because you're gluttonous with your alcohol. You're an alcoholic. You have alcoholism. I've been knowing that. Right. So it's like one sin ain't any worse than the other. And I really, really, have wondered, in the theory that I have literally developed in my head is, I don't think you like women that are adults. I really don't. I think your preference is more on the younger side. And the fact that you just can't straight up say that a woman should be of legal age in whatever country she's in to get married is fucked up. It ain't up to her fucking daddy. That's bullshit. And if you want to let the Bible brainwash you and pollute you, I mean, to me, you have no moral compass. God also gave us free will and morality. And you told me on this stream that you got a daughter, you got a kid, you got a daughter. Would you give your daughter to a 60-year-old man? Look at her shaking, crying. Every religion has some form of child marriage. Muslims, they practice that in Sharia law. Hebrew Israelites, there are Christian factions that do this nonsense, okay? And it's huge in Pakistan. It's huge in India even. Oh yeah, old India, where we have outsourced a lot of our jobs, our technology jobs and stuff like that. Oh, child marriage is huge there.
For Hindus, life is
Bangladesh.
full of rituals. The first of these symbolizes her future as a married woman. Beasley grimaces as the bangles are forced over her wrists, binding her to her future husband forever.
Does she look happy to you?
Binding her to her future.
Does that girl look happy to you? How could you say she has literally no choice in her body and what's done to her body and who she chooses to marry? It's up to her daddy. My daddy would be a dead motherfucker. You hear me? If I'm 12 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, and my daddy's trying to sell me off like that, he'd be a dead motherfucker up under some concrete somewhere with a house built over him, never to be seen again. That is sick. This is not of God. This is not of any loving God. Okay? No loving God would think this is okay. There ain't no difference between the girl being 12 and you waiting till she's 18 years old to marry her when she's actually a legal adult and she actually wants to marry you, because there's no 9, 10, 11, 12, or 13-year-old girl, 14-year-old, 15-year-old girl that can make a permanent life decision to marry someone. And especially somebody that could be their great fucking grandfather. You fucking kidding me? This 60-year-old dude marrying this 13-year-old girl, he looks like her motherfucking grandfather. You think she's even attracted to him? But you think the daddy has the control.
Husband forever.
That poor girl, man. This fucking practice needs to be stopped and needs to be banned all around the world. Women need to stand the fuck up, man.
Tough. My milk isn't enough, so the baby cries. When I was giving birth, the doctor wanted to do a C-section, but my husband said no. The doctor said, how can I even have a baby? Because I was married so young. I have nothing in my body.
She don't look a day over 12 years old.
For Hindus, marriage is full of rituals. The first of these symbolizes her future as a married woman. Beasley grimaces as the bangles are forced over her wrists, binding her to her future husband forever. Then Beasley's school uniform is traded in for her first sari. This marks her as a woman, even though she's still just a young girl. The last step is to unbraid her hair and tie it in a traditional knot, the symbol of a Bengali bride. Her transformation is complete.
Goddamn shame.
As everyone prepares for the festivities, I sit with Beasley and sense her helplessness. It's hard to know what to say.
Does anyone want to leave their parents' house? No one wants to do that. But they're forcing me. What can I do? They're forcing me.
She's shaking and she's terrified and she has no idea what's going on around her. She has no control over the situation. A bride is supposed to be the central theme for any ceremony like this. But for the first time, what I'm seeing is her being the last person being asked about anything.
Outside, her aunt grinds turmeric into a paste. It will be rubbed onto Beasley's skin, so she glows at her wedding tomorrow. Then her aunts bless her with oil and water. Village elders only gave the go-ahead for Beasley to marry 1 day ago. She didn't have time to tell her friends at school. She's playing the role that's expected of her in Bangladeshi society, maintaining family honor by marrying young. The whole community is here, but no one seems concerned about what Beasley wants, or that her marriage will be against the law. On the
You know, I'm going to leave it at that. I think it's very unfortunate that Israel Doctrine, couldn't be a professional. Okay. Um, it- it- you know, um, he was never disrespected up here. And I don't care for Israel Doctrine at all. But I, withheld my personal feelings to be respectful, and to ask the questions that I wanted to ask, etc., etc. And he couldn't find it in himself to be respectful, or to I mean, don't fucking sit around here and start, skirting around the questions and stuff. Like, damn, it's not that hard. I don't have time for, the bullshit semantics and stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you say that when a girl hits puberty and she's having a period, she's now a woman, that it's the daddy's decision. So if you say it's okay at 12, then what does it matter if I ask you if your thoughts are the same, if she's 9, 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, 13, or 14, then you want to start playing, all this wordplay, and everybody sees through it, and I ain't got time for it. But honestly, my questions are pretty straightforward. You should go back, replay this, and see how I would ask you just a straightforward, simple yes or no question, and you just are going on and on and on and on. So, now again, you've only confirmed what I've been saying ever since I've known you. That uh that is what you subscribe to. I always knew that's was your thoughts and your beliefs on females and them getting married. I always thought it. I've said it up here on my live stream tons of times. Tons of times. Anybody who's watching child porn and who's a Hebrew Israelite, who's an Israelite, and I'm not saying everybody in the Hebrew Israelite or Israelite religions are like that, but there's a faction of people in that religion that feel this way, because I've heard the many live streams, not only just with this Israelite religion, I've heard it with the Muslim religion. Like I told y'all before, there's live streams that happen on TikTok and Instagram, and like dedicated accounts to where they literally debate this topic all the time. Okay. All the time. How they feel that the woman's ready to be married, she's ripe to start having babies, and they start quoting their different laws and rules, and this is what the Quran says, and blah blah blah. You're right. If you just go to TikTok and you're just scrolling one weekend, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You will definitely run across it one day, I'm sure, in your social media life. And they do these live streams on TikTok too. I don't think I've ever seen one on YouTube, because I think YouTube would probably be a lot stricter, because these hosts that do these live streams are spending, they'll spend 5-6 hours on these live streams justifying this viewpoint. And, then they invite people up to debate with them about it. And so, yeah, man, that stuff is happening. And they've brought that stuff to social media, and just as many people as there is bringing that to social media, trying to justify that, there needs to be just as many people out there fighting against it, and exposing those people, and just combating this absolute worldwide problem. This worldwide problem. And speaking as I leave, speaking of pedophiles, people having sex with underage children, over 10 years ago, I reported on a case regarding Donald Trump, and a girl, her synonym name, or her the name she uses in public is Katie. And you can actually find this videos that I've done on this topic going back 10 years. And I exposed many years, actually even before Donald Trump's very first term in office, a case of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein having sex with a 13-year-old Katie. Donald Trump even slapped the girl in the face, okay, while he was having sex with her. I know of at least 4 incidents, and I've read the legal paperwork. I have, and luckily for me, I am one of very few vloggers that have a video, about a 10-minute video of her actually talking about it in disguise. And so the next video I do on LeakYou.com, which will be very soon, not tonight, but tomorrow, I may do it tonight, we'll see, is this video of her talking about this. and explaining the incident when he slapped her, how she's been to Epstein Island. Because if you haven't heard, a big dump of the Epstein files hit, the third dump, major gigabits of data. And in this latest dump, of all things, was information on that particular case I just told you about. So, like I said, I've been reporting on this since even before his first term in office, because I couldn't believe that with such a overwhelming accusation like that, he'd even still get voted in. But she talks about the incident in depth, in detail. She sued Donald Trump, as well as something else I've reported on. And see, here's the thing with that story. No matter how much I talked about it, I couldn't get it to go mainstream. Not even TMZ or other vlogs would even run the story. Because that's pretty serious. And there's like different editors, or I'm sorry, producers from various publications online that do follow my social media. And at that time, I just remember saying to myself, like, I can't believe TMZ isn't like doing an investigation themselves. Maybe it just wasn't enough from a legal perspective for them to move forward with the story. But I'll be damned, today Harvey and team over at TMZ.com finally published this story. And I know I've been the only one that is, I can't think of any other vlogger that's ever even talked about this until today, when those Epstein files dropped again. It was like all of a sudden people are treating this like it's a new story or something. No. The measuring, the accusations of Trump measuring and auctioning off young ladies, sticking his finger in their private areas and measuring how tight they are. That's also something that's been, going around for years. But that story about Katie, I have actually more details than what's being reported now. So I will be doing an update on that. And I'll even show you the old video that I published, the several videos that I published over the last decade on that story. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm just glad that the story finally has traction. Finally. I'm just glad for that. And, the other thing, when it comes to that particular, situation, it's like, see, here's the thing. I also did an interview with a Russian news organization, with REN TV. And it was that video that got REN TV's attention. But when they came to do the interview and documentary with me, it's like a documentary type thing, news documentary. When they came to do it and record my portion of it, they ended up editing that Katie part out. So it was all, the most they talked about was like Stormy Daniels and some of the more later things that was happening in his presidency. But again, I was talking about this stuff before he was even elected the first time. And I hate REN TV's news organization edited it out. But that documentary's been aired in like 90 countries or something like that. It's been seen all over the world. And your girl LeakYou is in it, talking about Donald Trump. And so I'm real happy that this story about Katie's finally out. But I will leave it at this. I want you all to understand that's not just it either. About 6 years ago, I reported on a story, and all I will say is Anonymous found some legal paperwork. and some other documentation regarding Donald Trump. And this documentation shows that Donald Trump has been sued by at least 10 times, by families regarding inappropriate sexual contact with underage girls. Okay. He settled all of them, each and every one of them. But there's one that's really super interesting. Okay. There's a girl whose family out of Florida sued Donald Trump. Okay. And here's the thing, that girl had a baby. Yeah. So all of the cases were settled. What do you call it? Sealed. So all of those cases have been settled. And the what do you call it? The circumstances of the settlement, I guess, is the better way to say that. Is sealed, and we're unable. No one can get that information unless maybe something gets hacked. If somebody was to hack, I guess they'd have to hack, some servers to get some of the details on the settlements. But he has settled several lawsuits regarding incidents that have happened with underage girls. Okay. So I wanted just to say that. Definitely make sure you check out, Google LeakYou.com on any Google dog pile. Dog pile is my favorite search engine. There's a Bing, whatever, and you will find my platform. The best, the one that I really, like I said, want people to gravitate to is my official podcast platform, as I do post content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Google Podcasts. I'm also on iHeartRadio, a couple other places, and I publish, different content that you won't find on YouTube. And definitely I do conspiracy theories, UFOs, aliens, non-human intelligence, non-human technology, true crime. I mean, I'll mess around and have a live scheduled to talk about the 13 bloodlines. Okay. So anyway, before we get up out of here, allow me to pay a few bills if you don't mind. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
All right, guys. Like I said, subscribe, hit the bell so you'll get notifications. I tend to bring in a lot more traffic on Twitter/X. I'm building a pretty nice platform there, and I really appreciate each and every one of you from X that come over. Let me create a video and talk about an alien sighting or UFO. it's not uncommon for 200-300 people to be in the live streams each and every time. So I'm really grateful. And YouTube's even opened up a pipeline, and I'm seeing more people, coming into the streams. Like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you for being here tonight. You all have a wonderful rest of your week. Until next time, everyone.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart. Like really, really, really smart like I am.